Hello, good afternoon and welcome to part 3 of our ultra low cost polygrow tunnel video series. In this episode you're going to see the second wall going in to the back face of the polytunnel, and we're going to be discussing the rest of the project, and you'll see actually the tools, or the majority of the tools and fittings that you need to use when you're building a from scratch trampoline frame polygrow tunnel like this one. My good friend Mick Derbyshire is down with us today, and he's from old McDerby's farm, so please go over and check him out as well. As always, if you do like what we're doing and you want to see more of it, please comment, like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. That's always appreciated, even though my tooth's falling out again. Forgive me. Enjoy. See you in a bit. Bye bye now. Hello there, and welcome to part 3 of our ultra low cost trampoline frame polytunnel build. Got some more wood there. See you in a bit. Hello boys and girls. I should have done this before we started the project really. Look at that flying off. Right, so these are the tools and fittings that we're going to be needing to create our side walls. I should have done this, as I say, before we started, but when I do the big one, the big all-in-one start to finish trampoline hoop tunnel video, I'll put this at the start, at the front. But yeah, so this one is just explaining to you now what we're using. I'm bloody rambling, aren't I? But here we go. So we've got screws, obviously, to screw the timbers together with, and we've got the 5 by 70 millimeter screws there, and these are the self countersinking ribs ones, which are there. Makes things a bit easier. Waxed zinc and yellow, whatever it is, finish. And those other ones, these ones, so those are for the actual creations of the boxes. And these other ones that we've got here, which I got from Handyman Stores in Platwas, or Platbridge, near Wigan, are the 8s. So, yeah, these are 2 inches. 1/8 of an inch by 2 inches, those ones. So that's imperial and that's metric. Okay, and then we've got the marker pens to mark up our wood when we've made our measurements for cutting. These bolts that we've got here, okay, these are 50s and 60s. The 60s ones I'm going to be using later down the line, but we use the 50 millimeter ones when we're actually bolting and raising these up. So when we raised these up and drilled through with our drill bit, these are the ones that we used, which were the 50 millimeter ones, which is 5 centimeters obviously. Alright, we'll be using them for another purpose shortly when we get the framing up around the doors and what have you. Alright, and then you'll need a drill, all cordless obviously, because there's no power down here. So there's your drill, and it would be a powered screwdriver as well, so you can put it to that setting for the screwing, that setting for the drilling. You don't want the hammer drill being used on this particular job, because you're not going through masonry or anything like that. And that is a steel bit. Okay, that's a steel bit, which is 7.15 millimeters in width, because our bolts are 6 millimeters. That M6 is 6 millimeters by 60 millimeters in length, so it's 6 millimeters wide, 60 millimeters in length. And for ease, when you're fitting those through your steel hoops, then obviously you want it a little bit wider, but not too much wider. I've got a jigsaw there as well. Mick's also brought down his little circular saw, but unfortunately the little circular saw isn't quite deep enough by about 2 millimeters to cut the whole way through these 2 inch by 6 inch timbers. So that must be metric setting, and that must be imperial setting. And then we've got a square there just to make sure everything is all squared up. I haven't got it with me at the moment, but there is also a, in fact I'll go and get it, the spirit level. There's the spirit level, quite a long one, a 4-footer. This is just to illustrate how much we paid for the timber. So if you can times that by 2, multiplied by 2 for the 6x2s, it's £45.54p, which equates to £91.08, and then we paid 37 quid for the 28-foot sections of 2x1 timber. All tannalised this so that it's ready for outdoor use. Won't last forever, but it'll last 3 times longer than normal timber if it was untreated. Pressure treated tannalised wood, that. And then the actual trampoline frames cost nothing at all, because we got them off free cycle. All we had to do is go and pick them up. So essentially, really, they were both within about 15 miles of where we are here in Wigan. So probably cost us £6-7 in fuel, £6-7 in fuel. So yeah, there'll be a proper butcher's bill rundown of everything at the end. If you haven't got drill drivers and things like that, get them off a mate. If you haven't got a mate, a friend, to borrow them off, then I feel sorry for you. Go out and get one. Be sociable. It pays off. So underneath where the base plates are going, as you can see, we're carpeting it, or Mickey's at the moment, carpeting it out there with the trampoline, bouncy bit of the trampoline, don't know what you'd call it, the actual thing that the kids bounce on.
Ground cover.
And it's now ground cover for us. We're going to check it for level. We've Mick's pre-dug the earth underneath to loosen it so we can adjust it and get it in line with the other base plates that we've put in. So we'll just tinker about with that for a second or two and get the level right. So we'll put it on, see what it's like at the moment. So it's not too far out now, but it needs to go down a little bit on that side, which is about right, because when you look at it from here, it does need to go down a little bit, probably about ½ centimetre, 5 millimetres down on that side. So it's in line with that. So we'll use a tool for that, which is called a foot, and see how we are. A little bit more, maybe a little toucher on this side. That's not looking too bad at all, that. Try again a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
That's us. So then when we get the boxing and create that boxing like we did last week, it'll all be in line, level and superb and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Isn't it, Mick? Top bananas all the way, lard all over the chip shop. So we're just making sure that we're level then going across the width. And so we've already, before I started filming, obviously I can't do it with filming and holding the spirit level, put the spirit level underneath that, and we're Mick's holding it on that side. We're running off the top of that across there. That's the level of where we want the top of the left hand side to land. But we've got to bear in mind there that when we're doing these side pieces, when we're cutting these to get it level, we've got to account for that space there, and that space should be 3 inches. So I'll measure that now to make sure, and then whatever the distance is that I've marked on here, we have actually done this. So that was the top where it landed for level, which is luckily just above where that bolt is, and then we've knocked it down 3 inches from there, and I'll measure that distance then, and then that's the cut that we're going to make the side lifter. Yeah. So I've transferred that distance of 18 inches onto an off-cut of wood that we had from last week, and so that's the 18 inches which I've marked there, and then using the square against the wood, ran the line, so we know that that's 90 degrees when it's cut with the jigsaw, and that's going to be our first rising piece of the box that we're making there. Okay, so there's the first one of the boxes that we're fitting in, and that's where the automatic lifters are going to go, the window lifters inside that. So you've got to make sure that it's plumb and square, obviously, for when you're fitting them windows in, which we have done. We've used a little spirit level, and because it needed to come out a little bit at the bottom, we've shimmied that out. Yeah, so we know that's all squared up. We've used it on the same principle here, measured it, squared it, that's all in. But to hold the bars in, I think Terry at Terry's robotic allotment on a budget, as it used to be called, Teddy King, was saying how are we boxing in these hoops, and so Mick's going to just do a bit of a demonstration there. That's the 2x1. So where your joins are between, obviously you've got to go around that bar. We're making sure it's level and plumb this way as well by adjusting these. So you've got your 2x1s, those adjusting it, and then once they're drilled in and set, Mick holds it while it's straight, and then they're drilled in and set, and that sandwiches it in, so it can't go that way. It can't shimmy that way and to the left and the right. It's going to maintain its straightness and its level. So we're carrying on with that. We're just going to follow that. Now we know that that first one's banged on. Me and Mick, now we can just carry on, and it'll just follow straight along until the end. Should be maintaining its level. We'll check as we go, but I don't think there'll be an issue with it. You'll see at the end anyway, boys and girls. See, Mick's just made a start of them screws there, and then it just goes straight in. You've obviously got to miss where your other screws were, but we put the screws top and bottom, and then for the next piece of 2x1 that goes in, we're obviously going to miss them if we keep away from the top and bottom and just go in a couple of inches above and below. It's a lot easier if you pre-start your screws like that, as Mick's doing. And that's going to box in our frame just in time for Hurricane Kira that's coming tonight. Oops. So Hurricane Kira's coming tonight. We've got to watch out for her. I know Mick was frightened then. Did you see? Belt him, mate. You see how dead straight that's running that to the bar? Because we put those 2x1s in to stabilise it and box it round. It's just following straight as a die now, that, making the work much easier. After you get that first one bang on and follow it, much easier. So that's our baby, as she is looking right now, with the two sides in. Storm Kira is on her way, so the weather's just started to turn now, actually. So we're lucky we got this in, to be fair. Tomorrow I think I'll continue to do my potato starts, if the weather's not too bad, because you can do them obviously indoors. But yeah, it's coming together, isn't it? Coming together very nicely. Now so far that's cost us in timber and screws about 130 quid, 130 pounds sterling. And that's all the timber, because everything else we got with the trampolines, all the brackets that you hold them on with, even the wood protection that we've got there is a porous wood protector, so it keeps it away from the soil a little bit with that membrane, and it lets the moisture and the rain drain through underneath. It's all tannalised wood, so I've got to dig out underneath this side as well and put the trampoline fabric underneath there as well on that side, and we'll do that all the way around the membrane. The trampoline fabric membrane will do all the way around. So yeah, it's I think it looks great. I think it's brilliant because you're saving a fortune. Once we get the actual sheeting for it, we're speculating that that's probably going to cost between £70 and £90 for the sheeting. So the timber's about 130, and then the sheeting will say we'll take it up to 210, something like that. Yeah. And what else were we factoring in? We were factoring something else in, and I can't remember what we were factoring in. Whatever it was, it came to £40. That was it. The £4 each for the polycarb. In fact, the polycarb I haven't shown you yet, have I? So yeah, for the side window lifters, it's 4mm clear polycarbonate, which comes in, I think it's 2 feet by 4 feet window pane sections, and there's a packet of 10 of them there. If I've got any left over, which I don't think I will at the end of this process, I might need to buy some more. I was going to do some cold frames with it, but I don't think I will be. Look at that big pile of potatoes, seed potatoes. That's for the other video, that. So yeah, the polycarbonate window lifters are going to be going into here. That's about 5 feet, or just short of 5 feet, and the 4-foot windows. So the framing is going to go inside there, the window frames, using a lighter 2x1. It's going to be the thinner stuff. It's going to be a metric version of 2x1, which is always a little bit narrower and thinner than the Imperial. And so they'll be lighter, and the automatic lifters then, as the temperature gets to a certain temperature, they lift up at the sides to vent it, so it'll lift out this way and airflow will come in. I'm going to be using those as well, which Mick got off the internet. I'm going to be fitting these into the polycarbonate. That's all polycarbonate that Mick's got over there, that tunnel. And if you can see there are vents. And I think they are, what are they then, Mick, them vents? You know the vents inside of your polycarb tunnel? Yeah. They're about 50p each, and they're on it's what you put onto the wall where you have your dryer unit venting out. That goes on the outside wall, and you can open and close them. Yeah. So you could have them fully open or closed, and again, so if you're venting from the bottom of that, like Mick's got it here, that's exactly what we're talking about. There you are, open and closing.
Oh, I did just
Siliconed them through, yeah, onto it. They're just the right width, then. And these lifters, this style of lifter, as you can see there, you've got the hinges at the back there. As the temperature rises and it gets to a certain temperature, you can set it to what you want. They'll lift up. There we go. There's a demo. It's sitting in your tanks there at side. But when the tank's not there, the automatic lifter lifts and allows that to go through. Allows that venting to go through, the air vent, the airflow to go through. So the temperature doesn't get too hot inside there, and the moisture levels can be reduced with the flow of air that's going through there, preventing rot, or at least assisting in preventing rot. I'm rambling now, aren't I? But I think it's, like I say, I think it's a good one. It's going to be great. Just bear with us a moment while we get another view. Don't want to bore you too much, boys and girls, but there you are. I'm already getting three or four thumbs down on each video anyway, from harsh critics. So there you go. All right, that's how it stands now. I'm going to take a photograph of that, and that'll be the one that we're going to be using for the thumbnail for this one. All right. See you in a bit. Have a good one. Yeah. So that's the end of part 3 of our ultra low cost trampoline frame polygrow tunnel. And that was me and Magical Michael Derbyshire from old McDerby's farm. Check him out. Old McDerby's farm. He's done all of those hoop tents across the majority of them now are all trampoline frames. It works like a charm. It really does, and you'll save yourself some money. Get growing with your head down. Catch you later, boys and girls. Ta-da now.